Romans chapter 9 verse 23 says God acted to make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy. Most people assume that means God revealed his glory to the vessels of mercy. But the text doesn't actually say that. It says on the vessels of mercy. And the Greek grammar here makes that very clear. The Greek says epi skue eleos. The key is the preposition epi. When Paul uses epi with the accusative, it doesn't mean to someone. It means on, upon, or toward. That's why, literally translated, it sounds odd. To make known the riches of his glory upon the vessels of mercy. That's not the language of a recipient. That's the language of a display. And Paul uses this same construction elsewhere. In Ephesians chapter 2, verse 7, he says God raised us with Christ, so that in the coming ages he might show the immeasurable riches of his grace and kindness upon us in Jesus Christ. The Greek is epihemas, upon us. God's kindness is displayed on us as a demonstration to the world. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 15, Paul speaks of those alive at the coming of the Lord. Literally, epi te parousia, meaning upon the coming. Again, it marks the setting or sphere of an event, not a recipient. So when Paul says in Romans chapter 9 verse 23 that God makes known his glory upon the vessels of mercy, he's using the same pattern. The vessels of mercy are the stage of display, not the audience of the revelation. So what's actually being revealed? The phrase tells us, the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy. That's the content. It's not God revealed his glory to the vessels of mercy. It's God revealed the riches of his glory. And that revelation looks like mercy being poured out upon the vessels he prepared for glory. So the vessels of mercy aren't the learners here. They're the living demonstration, the place where God's mercy is displayed. So who's the audience? Romans chapter 9 verse 22 gives the answer. It says God endures the vessels of wrath with great patience. Why? Romans chapter 2 verse 4 already gave us the principle. God patiently endures the vessels of wrath, and during that time, he displays his mercy on the vessels of mercy. The vessels of wrath are the ones meant to see it. They are the audience. Paul doesn't stop here. In Romans 10 and 11, he develops the same idea. God's mercy poured out on some is meant to make others jealous. Romans chapter 11 verse 11 says, by their stumbling, salvation has come to the Gentiles to make Israel jealous. And in verse 14, Paul says, I magnify my ministry in order to make my own people jealous and save some of them. The point is clear. Those who have rejected God are still being pursued. They can still turn back. They can still be grafted in again. That's why God is patient. That's why he puts mercy on display, not to shut people out, but to draw them back in. So the vessels of wrath aren't just background props to make the vessels of mercy feel special. They are the intended audience of a revelation. And that revelation is not God's wrath, it's God's mercy. Even those who have stumbled can still be restored. Even those who resist can still repent. Because God's kindness is meant to lead them back. So when you read Romans 9 in light of the Greek, in light of Romans chapter 2, and in light of Romans chapter 11, the message is consistent. God endures the vessels of wrath with patience. He puts his mercy on display upon the vessels of mercy. And he does this so that those who have rejected him might see, might turn, and might be grafted back in. Romans 9 isn't about God closing the door of mercy. It's about him keeping it wide open.